people, I just bought this brand new 2024 KTM 690 SMC R. I did a first ride review on it. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. That was my last video. But in this video, I wanted to tell you 5 things that I hate about this KTM 690 SMC Supermoto.
Let's go for a ride. Subscribe today.
If you want to get my gear like this ultra lightweight carbon fiber helmet, motovlog camera, airbag vest to help keep you safe, all of my gear, I always include links in the description and comment section. First off, I am very impressed with the power on this 2024 KTM 690 SMC R, man, Supermoto. This has way more power than you need for a Supermoto. And a lot of you guys are like Cycle Cruiser. You gotta mod it, you gotta put on a slip-on, open the air box up, do a custom tune, everything to really get everything out this bike. But I'm telling you, right in stock form, this thing's got way more power than you need, man. But it could use a little bit more grunt, okay? So I will be doing some modifications. I may just put a slip-on and see how that is. But if necessary, I'll go ahead and put the Rottweiler airbox on, the Power Commander 6 on there, do the custom tune and everything. And I'll probably do that anyhow, but I'm worried about KTM's reliability. That's one reason why I didn't get this bike for a long time, because I was worried about the reliability. So, you know, I already talked to KTM, and they said you got to be careful with doing all the extra mods on there because it may void the warranty. If you got any problems, you know, they ain't going to want to fix it. You know what I'm saying? And it's very expensive to fix these KTMs and these European bikes, man. But you know what? I'm going to get on this bike here. We're going to go for a little ride here. We're going to talk about some things I don't like about this bike right off the jump that may help some of you out there that's looking to buy this bike. I'll tell you one thing, a lot of you guys complain about the price on this bike, but I'll tell you it is expensive, and it's one reason why I was hesitant on buying this bike. But I got a couple $1,000s off. Normally you don't come across deals with this Supermoto because they're so popular and they sell really fast. Somehow, I don't know, I got a deal. It's like I couldn't pass it up, man. But I tell you, I tell you this though, when you get on this bike and you first crack the throttle on this bike, I'll tell you, front wheel, this thing rips. It rips, man. Look at that. Boom, 0 to 70 like nothing, bro. Nothing. It's got, like I said, it's got way more power than you need for a Supermoto. But it doesn't have the grunt like my 2019 YZ450FX custom street legal Supermoto that I built, which I have a link in the top right corner to the playlist for the build series on that bike. But a lot of you guys said you got to do the mods to get this bike, get the grunt. So that's one thing I kind of hate about this. I don't hate it, but I would like a little bit more grunt on the bottom. But like you said, got to do the modifications. But I tell you what, my Yamaha MTL7, which I also own, is that, you know, that bike in stock form has got grunt on it, man. I tell you, you crack the throttle on the MTL7, boy, you got that grunt right off the jump. Now this one, you got the power. This thing rips, man. But it could use a bit more grunt in stock form. So I guess that's one thing I kind of hate. I don't really hate it, but I know I can improve it. One thing I do hate that this bike has is really outdated, man, is the display. This is the sorry display I've ever seen before, guys. Oh, man. Woo, this thing kicks, boy. I tell you, that it kicks. It ain't gutless. Don't get me wrong, guys. Don't get me wrong. It ain't gutless. The wheel will kick up. Like I said, you really don't have to do anything to this to really enjoy it. But if you want some crazy stomp pounding torque, I'm telling you, get a YZ450FX and custom, do a custom Supermoto build on it. It's all bottom end torque to the maximum, where you just crank the throttle and that front wheel pops right up, boy, if you want to do some easy wheelies. This one I ain't messing around yet on, man. I'm still learning this bike, and I don't. You know, it's got a rear fuel tank, which is another thing that I hate about this bike, and reason why I was kind of hesitant on getting this bike for many years, along with the price and KTM's reliability, is the rear fuel tank. The 3.6 gallon tank, which is plenty of fuel, plenty of capacity for you to do lightweight adventure touring on or whatnot, but it's in the back, man. That's one thing I don't like about it, is that if you flip a wheelie, you loop a wheelie, it scrapes this cement here and causes a spark. The bike can literally catch on fire, which some motovlogger it did on YouTube. Go check it out. So that's what kind of deterred me from getting this bike. Another thing that I hate about this bike is the weight. I feel like I got bamboozled. Somewhere I put KTM 690 SMC R weight in wet weight in Google search, and somehow it popped out with 325 pounds. Now they must mean dry, because there's no way I put it on my commercial scale, which is accurate, and it came to 354 pounds. Okay, now I figured it was gonna be 350. I've known that all along. I figured 350, but they just outright be lying sometimes, man. Now I don't know if people just put wet instead of dry, because I could see 325 dry, but it ain't nowhere near 325 wet. 354 is what it is. And my 2019 YZ450FX Supermoto is 266 pounds, lightweight, baby. But on the highway, it's nice to have that extra weight. I'll be honest with you, it's very stable on the highway. So you know, I didn't buy this bike for it to be a super lightweight. That's why I got my YZ as my dessert bike. You know what I'm saying? This bike is going to be my little bit of everything bike. And I tell you, this thing is really good in the twisties, man. I'll tell you that. I tell you, these bikes are the best in the twisties, man. I'll tell you. They just feel so good. You're perched up high. You feel like you're on top of the world. And with this bike, you got all kinds of power. Oh, man. But it's very refined compared to the YZ. The YZ is very wild and violent, as where this one is obviously more smoother. And but it's got some throwback. So, you know, when you rip on it, you get that throwback and it busts that front wheel up a little bit. But I'm sure it's probably even enhanced when you mod this bike. But I will say that I'm very impressed with this bike. I have it on mode 2. This bike comes with 2 rider modes. 1 street, which limits the wheel slip and front wheel wheelie control. You put it on 2 and it opens the bike up a bit where it doesn't regulate the wheel slip, and it doesn't. You can bust a wheelie on it, which I have yet to bust a wheelie on this bike. And I'll get to it. But honestly, I may not even do wheelies on this bike. You know, I may just keep that to my YZ, to be honest with you. Like I said, this is supposed to be my like everything bike, man. A bike I tour on, a bike I can mess around a little bit, off-road on. Man, that thing rips, boy. Woo! I don't know how accurate this display is, but it sure does hit 70 real quick, man. I'm gonna have to check it with my GPS to see how accurate it is. But I'm telling you, this thing gets up and goes. It feels actually quicker than my MTL7, because it is lighter weight than the MTL7. My MTL7 is sitting at about like I think I got that to about 387. So this is at 354, so it's lighter weight. I will say, guys, is that another thing that I hate about this bike is a halogen light, man. It's 2024, guys, and this is still rocking a halogen light, even though they have an LED light as an accessory that you can buy, official KTM light. However, they should put it on the bike for the price they're charging for this bike, guys. Seriously, 15 G's. I mean, come on, man. Excuse me, it's 12,900, 13,000, but out the door everything's like 15,000. They should put a LED headlight on this bike, man. That's ridiculous, guys. Seriously. And another thing that I hate, the seat ain't the most comfortable, but actually it's not as bad as some people will have you to believe. It's actually pretty decent. It's firm. I feel I've ridden on this bike. My first ride I did about a couple of hours on this bike. I'll let you know when I do like a full day's ride on this bike, which is not today. We're in the winter time here in Ohio, so obviously I can't ride as much as I want to. But we'll see. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. If you got a flat butt, you know what I'm saying, you got a bony butt or something, then it's probably going to be pretty tough for you. You may want to put on a a pair of padded drawers, or get you that pony up some money and go ahead and get that comfort seat for the bike, which I'm probably going to do anyhow, because I'm going to change the fairings and I don't want the blue seat. I'm going to change this to like black and orange. We're going to make it look fire, guys. This bike going to look sick when I get done with it. And another thing I don't like, I really don't care for these hand guards. These are kind of cheap hand guards. Even they're on there very solid, don't get me wrong. But I tried, I couldn't put on some hand guard mirrors, the flip mirrors, like I can easily on my Zeta hand guards on my YZ. Unless, I guess you may have to drill a hole or something. I'm just going to put some Zeta hand guards on here, man. So I'm not really feeling these hand guards too much, but they're not bad. Don't get me wrong. They're on solid. They're just, it doesn't make it very easy to do any modifications or anything. But I'm going to be putting on the Zeta hand guards with the integrated turn signals, the same as my YZ. I love those hand guards. And it looks so much slicker with the integrated turn signals. So I have to say, what else do I hate about this bike? It feels kind of dated. I mean, it seems kind of dated. Don't get me wrong, man. It's a cool bike, but you know what? KTM is coming out with a brand new 690 SMC R for 2025. So they saw what Ducati did with the new Ducati 698 Mono Hypo Motard or whatever, Monotard or whatever it is. And I think they're going to update the bike, and it's going to be real nice with a nice display and everything. It's going to have the LED lights. It's like I said, they see they have to step their game up. They're not the only one in the game now. You know, I thought about just waiting till that bike came out, but I was like, I couldn't pass up on this deal. And I don't want to pay it. They're probably going to charge even more for that new 2025. So, and it's going to probably be the same engine. They make some different modifications, but I guarantee it's probably going to be about the same engine, because, you know what I'm saying, it's a tried and true engine. But overall, I have to say, guys, is I really enjoy riding this bike. It's very fun, man. I just need to tune the suspension for my weight and make some modifications. I'm going to do a build series on this. Like I said, I may go all out with the performance mods, because everybody seems to be doing it, and they swear that it's amazing, like night and day difference. So we'll see, man. I got a lot of videos I'll be coming up with this bike. Leave a comment below if you have any questions you want me to respond to in a video. If you have any questions about this bike or whatsoever, whatever. But if I had to choose this or the YZ, I will say that it's a hard, it depends. This, like I said, is your all-in-one bike. The YZ, in my opinion, induces more adrenaline because it's just wild and crazy. It scares me. It has scary, you know, the 450s are very violent. They're like, they're balls to the wall for motocross, man. And that YZ 450FX is actually, it's actually a motocross bike. It's the YZ 450, really, F, that they just made, has a 5-speed wide ratio gearbox on it, and a few other changes to an 18-inch rear wheel instead of a 19. And but otherwise, it's the same bike. But them motocross bikes are have wicked torque, as you guys know, man. And but anyways, guys, this is a cool bike. I have to give thumbs up to the KTM 690 SMC R, man. It is a pretty sick bike. But I'm telling you, if you want to be a crazy hooligan, you want a violent, crazy bike that just will grab your soul, I'm telling you, convert a 450 to a Supermoto, man. But this bike, I'm telling you, you're not crazy and you're more mature, and you want to do a little bit of everything, I'm telling you, this bike is the bike to get, man. To my opinion, you should have both bikes. You should have the 450 and the 690, man. The 450 for the occasional, the dessert bike. And this bike you can ride anytime you want. Ride it all day long. You don't have to worry about high maintenance, nothing. It's got super low maintenance. Absolutely sick bike, man. We'll see, man. Hopefully this thing will be reliable. If I got problems, guys, you guys going to know about it firsthand. So this is my very first KTM. If I love this KTM, I'll get more KTM bikes. So I hope it's good for KTM's sake. But anyways, guys, leave a comment below. Let's talk about it. Make sure to hit thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that little bell symbol so you get notified when my videos release. But I release new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Till next time.